Hey guys, so here in Miami, in an undisclosed location because it's very empty, very empty, and it's a nice place to relax, meditate, surrounded by water, as you can see. Alright, so today's episode's about Game of Thrones Season 8, Episode 6. Huge letdown on so many levels. Honestly, when I heard about Jon Snow going back to the Wall, I wasn't really upset because technically Jon Snow gave up his titles and his land the first time Jon joined the Night's Watchmen, even though he was kind of like coerced into it. He did willingly give up his land, his titles, his ownership, and all that stuff. So Jon being returned to the Wall is kind of appropriate on a technicality. And I understand not everybody would like that because, it's Jon Snow, the main character, or second main character, however you want to view it, to be honest. So one of the things that kind of annoyed me was the Daenerys scene where she's giving her speech to like her whole army, and like suddenly she has hundreds upon hundreds of Dothraki, and she has thousands of Unsullied, as if none of them died in episode 3. And the thing is, like, I think it's a continuity issue. I'm pretty sure it is a continuity issue because in episode 3, you can clearly see that she only had a handful of Dothraki left, and she only had at most 100 Unsullied. And when I'm saying this, I mean like on the outer wall. Clearly, she had some on the inner wall, or behind her wall. That being said, towards the end of the episode, you literally see everyone being attacked. Everyone's back is against the wall. There were clearly hardly anyone left. I mean, they were the undead, or clearly the dead were inside. They had so few people left, soldiers, even people, that the undead were just walking around, hanging out in the library, chilling in the corridors like if it was high school or something. And then we see this final episode, and she has like thousands of soldiers. And to be honest, it kind of is an issue. I mean, where did they come from? Because her fleet of boats was wiped out by Euron Greyjoy. So, like, there's like no way she could have gotten reinforcements within like, I think in the episode it would have been a span of like a week, considering it took a while to get from one side to the other side to Westeros. Another issue is Arya. The issue with Arya is like in season 8, like the whole time she did not use her skill at all. And like I mentioned it several times before, that she never used her skills at all, like at all. She could have easily ran up to the Red Keep with one of those faces, kill Cersei. She could have very easily, disguised herself as an Unsullied and kill Dany when she had a chance. Then there's her knife throwing skills. She can throw a knife. One other thing that I had an issue, well, she didn't kill Dany at all, or even attempted to kill her. She just stood there. And like, with the exception of the one part where she kills the Night King, she just stands there all season and smiles. That's all she does. Oh, minus that one scene where she actually killed the Night King. But other than that, her character was like not in the season per se. Another issue I have is Drogon. Like, Jon killed Daenerys, but Drogon, like, he could put 2 and 2 together. And somehow, like, people are saying that, Drogon melted the Iron Throne because Dany was obsessed with the Iron Throne, so he decided to melt it. I can see how some people are doing that, but like, if he was smart enough to melt the throne, he should have been smart enough to understand that Jon killed her. And like, as a dragon, considering Drogon was the rebellious one, I'm seriously surprised he did not kill anyone. He just romantically picked up Dany and then flew off with her to nowhere, apparently. Well, they don't really say where he went. There's no official destination for Drogon and Danny's body. And the other day I was talking with a friend with the whole scene of how Bran became king, and Danny wanted to smash the wheels, and now the king has four wheels. A little untasteful, but kind of humorous, kind of in a potentially questionable dark humor, insensitive dark humor. But it's a little comical, I guess. He has four wheels, and Danny wanted to smash the wheels. But in all seriousness, Bran being the king and them labeling him as the Broken King, it's a little bit more, questionable. Another thing about Bran, actually, another thing about Sansa, it's like as soon as he wanted to nominate Bran as a king, Sansa like almost immediately was like, "Oh well, he can't have kids, he can't be king." Basically taking a shot at her own brother in an attempt to not necessarily put herself as queen of all the seven kingdoms, but like, oh, that's my brother. He can't be king. He can't have kids. He's infertile. That's like, wow, Sansa. Wow. But yeah, another thing. But yeah, Sansa. Wow, like no chill. Even to her brother. Some people say Bran did nothing. Some people say Bran did everything. When you stop and think about it, what did Bran actually do throughout the whole like series? Aside from falling out a window, he basically just sat there. They used him as a hostage pawn for like an episode or two. Then he was declared dead. Then they found him alive. Then he went north of the wall, talked to the crow, which had no effect on the entire storyline of him talking to the raven, or the crow, or the raven. He was talking to the raven, the three-eyed raven. That had like zero bearing on what was happening on the other side of the wall. And then he came back to the castle, did nothing. I mean, truth be told, his biggest contribution throughout the entire series was a scene where he reunites with Arya, and he gives her the Valyrian blade, the Valyrian dagger. That's like the only real contribution Bran has actually given into the series. Aside from, yes, Bran actually told Jon that he was the rightful heir, but technically so did Sam Tarly. He knew as well, and he was going to tell Jon. Kind of caught me off guard that I didn't like. Everything else was actually pretty cool. I actually approved of the rest of the episode. It was just those little aspects of the entire season 8 that kind of like, like it gets on you. It slowly creeps in your mind. Like, Bran did nothing. Arya did that one scene, and she was utterly pointless for the rest of the season. Jon, that was actually pretty cool. I approve of that part. The dragon didn't do anything. He just flew away after he realized that Jon killed his mom. It's like he's once again, he was the rebel dragon. He was the one, killing people, killing animals, flying around, running away, coming back, and then now all of a sudden he doesn't rage. He just romantically flies away with Dany. Alright guys, so season 8, huge letdown. They had its moments. Once again, Dany's apparently magically regenerating army was like the biggest annoyance for me, because season 3 they had basically nobody left alive, hardly. I mean, episode 3. Episode 4, I noticed that there was a few extra soldiers, but I could have miscounted on episode 3 at the end with the survivors. Episode 5, suspiciously her army grew. Episode 6, she had this massive army as if nobody died. I mean, like, literally almost nobody died, despite 90% of our army disappearing in episode 3. Well, hopefully, people are petitioning for a remake of the entire season. Not sure how that would actually go around to be done. Not to mention the costs. But, if it does, it does. If they do it, they do it. Hi guys, hope you have a great day. It's sunny South Florida. It is beautiful. I'm gonna meditate for a few minutes because, come on, wouldn't you meditate here? Peaceful, tranquil, undisclosed location. Although not really that undisclosed, because apparently people have been here. A lot of people, either a lot of people have been here or Park and Recreation haven't been here in a while. Alright guys, Miami off in the distance, if you can see it, right there. Miami Beach over here for Urban Weekend this upcoming weekend. And I hope you guys have a great day. I know I will. Ciao. Bye. Bye guys.